Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Dearborn Public School Special Board Meeting. It's May 4th, and it's 6:06 p.m. We call the meeting to order.
Trustee Bazzi.
Here.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Here.
Trustee Mosip.
Here.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Here.
Trustee Subo.
Here.
Trustee Zahart here. President Jahmi.
Here.
That's everybody.
Next item.
Next item is the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
It's okay. Maybe they'll hear me.
Next item.
The next item is citizen participation. Thank you.
And because we started late, we'll give a few more minutes for those that want to.
Citizens wishing to address the board who are signed in by 6:10 p.m. or 10 minutes after we start by submitting a blue card to the board secretary may speak at this time. The board may not be in a position to respond, therefore speakers should not anticipate an immediate response to their comments or questions. For the benefit of all concerned, do not mention the name of students or school district employees. Please keep your comments as brief as possible. There's a 3-minute time limit on comments made to the board. All right, we have a number of cards so far, Mr. President. Our first speaker is Kathy Martin.
Good evening, trustees. I do not envy you again tonight. This is not a good seat to be in. I'm not wearing my DFT shirt, but I am here representing DFT. I'm not speaking on behalf of Kathy. I'm speaking on behalf of the teaching staff. I have already shared the survey with you. We had 498 members complete the survey. We are the only group who actually surveyed our members when sharing with you who the preference is. And it was clear, that almost 70% of members preferred Mr. Hamka as the candidate for you to select. And I also shared the raw data with you, and you had access to everything that people felt compelled to share. And I will say, I did share with members the analysis of the survey, and the raw data is much more clear in people's reasonings. The analysis did not need to include some of the details and the specific reasons why people voted the way they did. So I hope that you all looked at it. If you had any questions, you had the raw data available to you. And I hope you read it and took to heart how members are feeling. And we and the community and the children are counting on you to make the right choice tonight. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, our next speakers are a trio. Tamika Young, Angie Lorenzetti, and Donna Smith. Tamika Young, Angie Lorenzetti, and Donna Smith.
Good afternoon, trustees.
Good evening.
I'm Tamika from DFSC, representing the union for DFSC. I'm here today on behalf of our union to support Mike Esseily as superintendent. After our discussion and consideration, we believe he has the experts and leadership and vision to move this district forward. He stood out and committed to student success, clear communication, and he's willing to collaborate with labor and staff partners. We confident in his ability to lead, and we respect and ask for you to give strong consideration in his candidacy. This is Angie, and this is Donna, and we represent the DFS.
Yep, I'm going to say something. My name is Angie Lorenzetti. I represent the DFSC 4750. I've been in this union for over 20 years. Now, when Mike Esseily first came, I was on one of those committees who interviewed with him. and he did great. He far exceeded our expectations on what a Dearborn employee does. We all want to be the best. I want to be the best. I want the best union, best district. I feel him and his experience here at the schools for all these years will make the best choice for superintendent. Now, we need to go back on the experience that he had here and those decisions that he made. When we're all leaders, you get scrutinized. Some people want this, some people want that. He wants what's best interest for the students, and that's what we feel like he will do. He will put the students first. He looks out for employees, special ed department, and over the years, he gave us the biggest raise for the parapros and the biggest group. We had 300 parapros, and he finds us some money. So he supports the staff, and we are 1,100 support staff. So I feel he will make those great decisions. And that's who we are endorsing tonight. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Linda Schultz.
Good evening. My name is Linda Schultz, and I have had the pleasure of working with Moussa Hamka as his secretary for almost 11 years at Grosse Pointe South. When you spend 5 days a week, 8 hours a day working alongside someone, you truly come to understand their beliefs, dedication, passion, and loyalty. I would like to share a few things I have learned from working with Moussa. Moussa is deeply committed to maintaining a strong balance between work and family. He is a spiritual man of faith who feels genuinely blessed to live and thrive in Dearborn, the Dearborn community. He approaches every decision with thoughtful consideration, often reflecting on conversations that he has had with staff, students, and colleagues. When making decisions that affect students, their well-being and safety are always his top priority. His passion for serving the Dearborn community, where he lives and is raising his family, has always been extremely important to him. Moussa has been a loyal member of the Grosse Pointe Public School District for almost 13 years, and he is excited about the opportunity to step into the role of superintendent in Dearborn. I'm confident that he will flourish in this position. In the short time you have had to get to know Moussa, I hope that you have been able to reflect on what you have heard and learned about him and have come truly to appreciate the person he is and the gift that he would be to your district. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Rai Fassab. Did I say your first name right? Rafa. Our next speaker is Rafa Saab.
Sorry, one second. All right. Good evening. My name is Rafa Saab. I'm a parent and autism teacher. Today I stand before you as the voice of my students who are nonverbal. While Moussa is exceptional, I'm sure, my students haven't had the privilege of meeting him or seeing him. So today I could only speak as to what they see, feel, and know about Mike. As their voice, I want it to be heard that Mike has been present, not only in the schools, but in the community. As their voice, I thank you for stepping in to support both classroom and home needs whenever it was needed. As their voice, we see when you take the time to stop by to see what we're learning and to truly understand what we're capable of. Today, I speak for 100% of my students, not just 35, because Mike has always taken the time to listen when they can't be heard. Thank you.
The next speaker is Rick Rababi.
Good evening, trustees. Thank you. My name is Rick Rababi. I'm a committee member and a parent of kids in the district. I would like to say that I believe the bond proposal is a very important to myself, to the kids, and to the community and district. I believe that teachers have voiced their opinion and their support for Mr. Hamka, as mentioned earlier, and that we believe he's the right choice. I want the community to support the bond if we rebuild the trust, and that's the most important thing, and I believe Mr. Hamka is trust. He will bring back the trust to this community, to the parents, and to the students. Selecting him as a candidate brings back hope to this district. We need to listen to our teachers if we want to make the bond pass. We need their buy-in. Brick and mortar does not make a school special. Our teachers make the school special. And if we don't get a superintendent that supports our teachers, that the teacher can trust, if you notice the secretary for Mr. Moussa that worked with him for 11 years, she can attest to this, that we're going to lose these teachers. And we're going to end up losing our kids to private schools. It's already been known. I live in a community where over 50% of my neighborhood, the kids do not go to Dearborn Public Schools. They go to Divine Child, Sacred Heart, Islamic schools, different schools, but not Dearborn Public Schools. Why is that? There needs to be a change, and I believe Moussa is that change. Moussa comes from a high-performing district. It's known for its success, and he had the ability to send his kids to this school, to Grosse Pointe, but he preferred to send them to Dearborn Public Schools. The other candidate lives in Dearborn, yet he sends his kids to Crestwood schools. Also, when Moussa chooses to push a bond, he'll be asking for higher taxes for himself, for his neighbors. When he makes decisions for his students, it will also impact his own kids because they go to that district. Moussa's committed, invested in our community. He has the integrity, the drive, and the experience to lead us in the right directions. It's like the saying goes, when you want success, you hire success. And Moussa is the answer to our success. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Rima Ismail Salman.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Rima Ismail Salman. I'm a mom for 2 kids who attend Dearborn Public Schools. I'm standing here now to share my experience with Mike Esseily. Yet, with all my respect to Mr. Hamka, whom I don't know because I didn't have any experience with him. Actually, we left Lebanon in 2018, and I came here with my family for one main reason, which is finding a better place for my son, Yusuf, who is 13 years old at that time, who had epilepsy and autism. And as you know, as newcomers to this country, I didn't have a driving license. I don't know anything about the school rules here. And everything was overwhelming for me. I contacted Mike. I will be calling him Mike as my son calls him. I will be calling him Mike. So I contacted Mike by email and I told him my story. He immediately called me and he sent the whole group to do the assessment for my son at my house. And he was calling every day to make sure that the process is going on until my son was settled in a very suitable school. And since that time, Mike has remained as a steady presence in our life. We see Mike in the school buildings, in the community. Even at summer, we see Mike at the pool, and he immediately reaches Yusuf, and he chats with him, and he asks about him. This consistency means more to families like mine than words can express. Plus, Mike is exceptionally reachable. Whenever you call Mike, weekends, holidays, he immediately responds. He calls and he tells you if things can be reached now, if things can be solved next day, he will immediately do it. He listens to the families, he listens to our concerns, and he always accommodates as much as possible. So, for me, he does not just manage a system, he partners with us as families. And as a Lebanese mother, I often think of a simple idea from the spirit of the Rahbani plays, whenever they say that a real leader brings calm in moments of confusion and makes people feel safe even in disagreement. I will be saying it in Arabic also. القيادة أو القائد ليس بالصوت الأعلى من غيره بل عقل أهدأ وقت الضجيج وقلب أوسع من الخلاف. I'm not saying that Mike is the one and only, but I'm saying that leadership is personal. As a mother of special needs child, I have learned to measure leadership by one question: who can I trust with my son's future? And here is the truth. If I trusted Mike with my own special needs son, the child who depends on me the most, then I can trust Mike with the future of all children in Dearborn Public Schools, especially as they face many challenges today. Finally, I have an HR background, and from my HR experience, strong leaders grow within the organizations they serve.
Excuse me. We're over the 3-minute mark. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. But yet, I recommend Mike.
Our next speaker is Dr. Jennifer Kendall Mooney.
Good evening, members of the board and members of the Dearborn community. My name is Dr. Jennifer Kendall Mooney. I am a 25-year educator with 23 years in school administration, and in that time, I have worked alongside many strong leaders. Moussa Hamka stands in front of all of them. I'm here tonight to offer my full support for him as your next superintendent. Not only is he ready for his work, he will excel in it. I worked closely with Mr. Hamka in his role as the principal of Grosse Pointe South High School, and I have served on the executive board of our Mothers Club and as president last year, where I worked with Mr. Hamka monthly to collaborate on work and how we could support his teachers and his students. They were always first in his eyes. Mr. Hamka brings a rare combination to leadership. He is sharp, strategic, analytical, and deeply versed in the complexities of running a modern school. But intellect alone does not move a community forward. He pairs that thinking with profound empathy. He listens, he shows up, he sees the human behind every personnel decision, every policy question, and absolutely every parent concern. He cares so deeply for students, for teachers, for staff, and for families. In every conversation he has in his office, in the hallways, and in meetings with parents, he always asks the driving question: how does this serve students? Reading the profile your board has put forward, I was struck by how precisely it describes the man I know. You are looking for an instructional leader who champions the whole child, someone who can attract and retain exceptional staff, build consensus across diverse perspectives, and model integrity. Someone visible, approachable, culturally competent, a leader worthy of a district as rich and dynamic as Dearborn. This leader is Moussa Hamka. He has since gone on to serve as Director of Human Resources in Grosse Pointe, which has only deepened his understanding of what it takes to run a complex organization with sound fiscal stewardship. He knows how to build teams, develop talent, and hold people accountable with both clarity and kindness. Dearborn deserves a leader who will put students first, who will inspire, educate, and celebrate. Mr. Hamka is not afraid to make change while balancing tradition. He is gracious, he's guiding, and he is gutsy. If you are ready for change, Moussa will lead it. Thank you for your time and for the care you are taking with this decision.
Our next card, Mr. Chair, is a yellow card where they want us to read their comments for them. This is from Fatima Bazi, who's a parent. Her comment is: as a parent of a special needs child that attends Dearborn High, I can speak on my personal experience with Mike, I guess we can say his name now, with Mike, that he has always had an open door policy and was always so understanding and patient with any and all concerns I have had regarding my son. Our next in-person speaker is, sorry if I said, Beth Walsh Sanutsky. Did I say that right? How do you say it? Oh, it's a H, sorry. Okay, our next speaker is Beth Walsh Sahutsky. Was that right?
That's it.
Okay.
You nailed it. Thank you. Good evening. My name is Beth Walsh Sahutsky. I am a lifelong resident of Grosse Pointe, a 29-year employee of the school system, and I've had the privilege of working with Mr. Moussa Hamka for the past 11 years in my role as a high school counseling department chair. An effective counseling department must work in close partnership with administration to truly serve students, who are and must always remain our top priority. That kind of relationship is not guaranteed. It requires trust, alignment, and a shared purpose. When Moussa joined our team, we met right away to build the foundation. What stood out immediately was how naturally aligned we already were, centered on relationships, student wellness, academic success, and character development. Moussa began by listening. He took the time to learn our systems, our students, and our community. He built mutual respect through intentional collaboration. And he cultivated a leadership approach grounded in possibility. His default answer was often yes, not out of convenience, but out of a belief in growth, creativity, and trust in his team. I experienced this firsthand when I proposed bringing the first therapy dog into our high school. With his support, the idea became a reality. Today, 6 years later, that single initiative has grown into a district-wide support dog team that continues to positively impact students entirely across the district. Moussa's not simply a manager. He's a systems thinker and a visionary leader. He notices, questions, and digs deeper. Moussa loves a thought partner, and I remember him casually observing, "We have a lot of students on our Academic Hall of Fame." That simple curiosity sparked a deeper inquiry. He analyzed data, he loves data, examined patterns, and engaged our leadership team in meaningful discussions about grading practices, equity, and student outcomes. He brought people together around a shared language and purpose, ultimately strengthening systems like MTSS and PBIS to better serve all learners. His work consistently reflects a commitment to equity, not just as an idea, but as a practice embedded in decision-making. Under Moussa's leadership, there was also a strong sense of consistency and fairness, clear expectations through the Student Code of Conduct and administrative guidelines, created a predictable and stable environment. In counseling, we often face complex situations that require administrative decisions. With Moussa, I could anticipate those decisions because I trusted that he would uphold established standards with integrity. That consistency matters. It builds confidence among staff and ensures fairness for students. Dearborn Public Schools deserves a superintendent who leads with integrity, vision, and a deep commitment to students. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Our next speaker is Hassan Alawi.
Good evening, Council. My name is Hassan Alawi, and I want to speak as a longtime friend of Moussa Hamka. I want to speak about his moral character and his fiscal responsibility. I've known Moussa for over 30 years now. Even though he has been a lifelong resident of Dearborn, and I, a lifelong resident of Dearborn Heights, we met through a local mosque. Moussa grew up in a God-fearing household, just as I did. We went to the same Saturday school and Sunday school, where we were taught morality, ethics, and how to be empathetic community members. Even after graduating those schools at around middle school, I would still see Moussa at community functions and events. It was after high school that I really got to know Moussa. We both attended a local youth organization called the Young Muslim Association, or YMA for short. We attended lectures together. We went on spiritual retreats together. We even got married together. And we met both of our spouses at the YMA. Later, we went to Hajj together. Hajj Moussa and I didn't have mutual interests. He was always big on education, and I was always an engineering nerd. Nor did we go to school together. He went to Fortson, and I went to Crestwood. But one thing remained the same. I could always count on Hajj Moussa's support. We struck a unique bond that we could count on each other no matter the circumstance. That speaks levels of commitment to his loyalty and support. In 2006, shortly before our Hajj trip, we decided to give a little bit more time and energy to the YMA. We were dedicated volunteers. I began leading programs, and he was the treasurer. There, I came to know a side of Moussa that I had never seen. He was adamant on spending every penny responsibly. We even had feuds over budgetary concerns for all the programs, but never once did Hajj Moussa compromise simply for the sake of avoiding conflict. He took it on head first. He took an organization from having a negative $4,000 balance to a surplus of $72,000. Even when we frequently clashed on budgetary items, our bond grew closer. In closing, I want to add just one last note. I don't have personal stories about what happened in Grosse Pointe, but there are many stories from former HFCC students that I have heard that made me proud to be Moussa's friend. I recommended Hajj Moussa's classes to many youth asking what to take, and never once was I disappointed. There was even one case in which Hajj Moussa failed a student and then sincerely offered to pay for him to retake the class, only to have him pass later on. That student became an engineer. That speaks volumes to Hajj Moussa's character and willingness to do what's right, even in the face of difficulty. Thank you for your time, and may God bless this council, both candidates, and this community.
Our next speaker is James Grosse.
Good evening. My name is James Grosse, and I'm a recent retiree from the Grosse Pointe Public School System, where I had the privilege of teaching at Grosse Pointe South High School from 2014 to 2025 under the leadership of Principal Moussa Hamka. I'm here this evening to offer my full, enthusiastic, and unconditional support for Moussa Hamka as Superintendent of the Dearborn Schools. My connection to Dearborn runs deep. I grew up immersed in the rich history of this district through my father, Wally, who taught history for 35 years at Adams Junior High and at Dearborn Fortson, Moussa's alma mater. During my time at Grosse Pointe South, I worked under 4 principals and 11 assistant principals. I'm also a parent of 2 graduates of South High School, and I have a current 11th grader there now. These experiences has given me a broad and meaningful perspective on educational leadership. Among all the administrators I've worked with, Moussa Hamka stands apart. He combines exceptional intelligence and sharp insight with genuine compassion. He analyzes data with a clear focus on student achievement while also leading with heart, lifting up those who may feel overlooked and challenging high-achieving students to reach even greater heights. What truly distinguishes Mr. Hamka is his presence. He knew my students by name. He was their advocate, supporting them, listening to them, guiding them. I witnessed firsthand his sincere care for my students and for their teacher. I'd like to share a brief story that captures the essence of who Moussa is. In his very first weeks as principal in 2014, Mr. Hamka stood outside each morning, greeting students and reassuring parents as they dropped off their children. During that first week, a parent rolled down their window and asked Mr. Hamka, "What is a guy like you doing in a place like this?" Can you imagine? In that moment, Mr. Hamka chose composure. He did not react with frustration or anger. Instead, he showed restraint, grace, and professionalism. He turned an inappropriate comment into motivation to lead with dignity. In closing, as you know, Moussa is one of Dearborn's gems, and he is one of Grosse Pointe's gems. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Eddie Fakhouri.
Good evening, everyone. I'm here in the capacity of parent and resident of a city that I deeply have been in love with since I've been raising my family here. And this district, anyone who knows me knows how near and dear and how passionate and dedicated I am in the support of this district. I walked in here today and I just felt compelled to fill out the blue card for one reason and one reason only, and that's to simply say thank you to each of you, this esteemed body and the administration of this district that allowed this community at every turn of the process to be engaged and to have a voice in the process. This city to me is what I say, a city that's still a community. So as part of this community, knowing that I've had the chance and that this board has made it a point to ensure that this community was engaged in the process speaks volumes as to the reason why I love this community so much. So I simply wanted to say thank you to you and to the administration and everybody that was involved in the process to allow us to have that voice and get to know the candidates. Thank you.
Our next speaker is Heidi Martin. Is that right, Heidi? Okay.
Good evening. Thank you as well for listening. It does mean a lot to us. My name is Heidi Martin, and I'd like to address you tonight to share some personal insight into candidate Moussa Hamka. I believe on paper he's the most qualified candidate for the position of Superintendent of Dearborn Public Schools, but I'd like to give you something else to think about. To give you a little background about myself, I should tell you that I've taught in Dearborn Public Schools for 34 years, retiring last June. I started my career in 1991 at McDonald Elementary, but I also spent many years at Laurie, Woodworth, McCullough, Nowlin, and Howard, respectively. I was fortunate to meet the Hamka family when I transferred to Howard Elementary. I taught 3rd grade, and I had their daughter that year, and 3 years later I had another of their daughters, and I can say without a doubt that this family not only values education, but they are committed to supporting the schools and the people who work tirelessly in them. At the time, I didn't know that Moussa was principal of Grosse Pointe South until well after my first November parent-teacher conference, which was probably a good thing. But I tell you this because even with his background, his experience in education, he never once made me feel like I didn't have complete autonomy over his daughter's education. He fully supported my decisions in the classroom, and he truly listened to any concerns I had regarding his own children. And we all know this is a tough thing for any parent to do, much less a parent who has the knowledge and skill to usurp your decision. He deferred to my expertise as a 3rd and 4th grade teacher, but because he has the integrity to admit to himself that I had more experience in lower elementary than he did. And I will never forget a conference I had with him and his wife where he looked me in the eye and he said, "I trust you completely." And as a teacher, I can tell you those are words that we long to hear. And it reaffirms why we went into teaching. And I believe he's going to bring that same culture and climate to this district as superintendent. He will build relationships with teachers, building principals, and students like no other superintendent has in my 34 years in Dearborn Public Schools. In closing, Moussa values people as much as he values education. And we can have all the best programs and resources available. But if we have a leader who does not truly listen with intention to educators, families, and students, then I think we can all finish that sentence. But thank you for listening.
Okay, our next speaker is Janine. How do you say your last name? Say it again. Annoyan? Annoyan. Okay, Janine Annoyan.
Yes, sorry, it's hard to say.
It's okay.
Good evening, board members and community members. My name is Janine Annoyan, and I am a DFT member. I am here tonight to speak in support of Mike Esseily for Superintendent of Dearborn Schools. At a time when our district needs strong, steady, and student-centered leadership, I believe Mr. Esseily brings the experience, integrity, and commitment necessary to move Dearborn forward. Our schools are diverse, dynamic, full of potential, and they deserve a leader who understands this community and is ready to build on its strengths. What sets Mr. Esseily aside is not only his professional qualifications, but also his ability to connect with students, staff, and family. Effective leadership is not just in making decisions, it's about listening, communicating clearly, and building trust. Having worked closely with Mr. Esseily over the years, I have seen firsthand how these qualities have led to meaningful and lasting positive change in our district. Dearborn Public School has long-standing reputation for excellence. The next superintendent will play a critical role in continuing this legacy, which also addresses the challenges ahead. This is an important decision, and I encourage the board to select a leader who will be visible, collaborative, and focused on student success from day one. I respectfully urge you to give strong consideration to Mr. Mike Esseily as you make your decision, and thank you for your time and all of your hard work in this efforts.
Okay, our next speaker is Mahdi. Mahdi? Is it Nasrallah? Okay, Mahdi Nasrallah.
Well, good evening, more board members. My name is Mahdi Nasrallah, and I'm a student at Dearborn High School. And I'm probably most known for my work in youth leadership and advocacy across the entire state from Marquette to Detroit, working with students, school leaders, legislators, school officials, and community partners to make sure young people are not just talked about in important decisions, but have a space in actually deciding them. But tonight, I'm not speaking because of a title, a program, or a project. I'm speaking because I'm a student in Dearborn Public Schools. And in a way, this very building is a part of my story. One of the first times I ever public spoke was right here, when Dearborn Public Schools unveiled electric school buses. That day I was quoted as saying, "When Dearborn takes a step forward, it sends a message across the state." And I still believe that. Because Dearborn has never just been another district. When Dearborn leads, people notice. And when Dearborn trusts its next superintendent, that decision will say something powerful about who we are and where we are going. Each and every vote you cast today carries the weight of almost 20,000 students. Not numbers on a report, but real students with real families, real dreams, and real futures. Dearborn Public Schools is a district shaped by strong leadership, dedicated educators, hardworking families, and students who carry the pride of this community into every classroom. Dr. Maleko's leadership has helped strengthen that legacy, and his service is something this district can be proud of. But legacy is only as powerful if the next leader knows how to carry it forward. That is why I strongly support Mike Esseily to be the next superintendent at Dearborn Public Schools. Mike does not have to learn about Dearborn Public Schools from a briefing binder. He knows Dearborn from the inside. He knows the families, the educators, and the students who need more than just a policy. They need a person in leadership who sees them. Through his work with special populations, Mike has led one of the most important areas of education, making sure students with different needs different challenges and different paths are brought to the center, not pushed to the side. And to me, that says everything about the type of superintendent he would be. That is a fighter for every future, a fighter for every student, and a fighter in every single classroom. That is the kind of leadership that Dearborn deserves. And it's also the kind of leadership this district needs as we face one of the most important opportunities in our future, the bond. Because the bond is not just about buildings, it's about a belief. It's about whether parents believe this district to honor the trust they place in us, and they place in us every single morning. It's about whether teachers have the spaces and tools they need to keep giving students their best. And it's about whether students walk into schools that reflect the values that we have. Passing a bond takes more than just a plan. It takes trust, it takes communication, and it takes a leader who can bring together this community and invest in our schools. And when Dearborn needs to invest in itself, Mike Esseily understands that. In my work across the state, I've seen what happens when young people are included, when communities are respected, and when leadership is rooted in service instead of ego. That is the kind of leadership that moves people, and that is the kind of leadership that builds trust, and that is the kind of that's the type of leadership I see in Mike Esseily. Because every vote tonight carries the weight of almost 20,000 futures, and every one of those futures deserves a fighter.
Okay, our next speaker is Sophia Sanson Lopez. Did I say that right? So you guys are using the 3 minutes together? Well, that's fine, but technically if you want more time, you can go separately.
Okay. Just go
I mean,
ahead.
it's up to the chair. He can give you 6 minutes if he wants to.
Yeah, we'll be lenient.
Okay, so Sophia Sanson Lopez and Yasmin Saeed. Is that correct? Okay.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Yasmin Saeed, and I'm here I'm a senior at Etzelford High School.
My name is Sophia Sanson. I'm also a senior at Etzelford High School.
Tonight, we're here as students who care deeply about schools, our peers, and the future of this district. We wanted to bring student perspective into these conversations because the ideas being discussed and the direction chosen for this district will shape the lives of thousands of students for years to come.
Recently, during the superintendent interviews, the idea of creating an all-girls school was brought up as a possible solution to declining enrollment in our district. While we understand that this may have been suggested with positive intentions, we strongly believe that separating students by gender is not the right direction that our district should be heading towards. Instead, we should focus on strengthening the programs and opportunities that our district offers for all of our students.
Having an all-girls school would not address the actual causes of declining enrollment. Creating a separate school based on gender will not solve these larger concerns. Some may think it could make the district look more attractive to families and therefore help address the declining enrollment. While we understand why these points may sound compelling, we do not believe that separation is necessary in order to achieve those outcomes. If we truly want our students and families to remain in this district, we should invest in improving programs, resources, and opportunities that will benefit everyone. Our schools should prepare students for the world they are about to enter, a world where people of all backgrounds, perspectives, and genders work together, lead together, and succeed together.
Creating an all-girls school within our district could unintentionally send the message that girls need to be separated in order to succeed. It also raises another concern. While a small number of students may attend this proposed school, the majority of girls in this district would still remain in regular classrooms that could continue to be overpopulated by males. Instead of separating a select group of students, we should focus more on improving classroom environments, opportunities for students all across the district.
As presidents of the Women's Empowerment Club, Sophia and I believe that empowering girls means giving them the support, opportunities, and leadership roles to succeed alongside their peers, rather than separating them from the rest of the student body.
One major issue we see in our schools that we believe is contributing to the declining enrollment is that too many students feel disconnected from the purpose of school because they do not see how it connects to their future. Many students see immediate employment as more practical or more valuable than completing their education. This is something our district should take seriously. Instead of trying to separate or restructure schools, we should make education feel directly connected to real opportunities after graduation. A possible solution is creating programs in partnership with businesses in Dearborn that build clear pathways for students to become employed in our city. These partnerships could include internships, apprenticeships, job training programs, and career-focused pathways to allow students to graduate with both a diploma and real-world experience. This will help students see that school is not separate from their future, but is directly connected to it.
Some may argue that an all-girls school could provide meaningful benefits. While there is research and evidence that suggests that they can provide environments where some students may participate more actively in class, without certain social pressures. When we look at this idea within the context of our district specifically, the long-term impact would create more challenges than advantages. In a public school system like ours, introducing an all-girls school would affect enrollment balance, classroom composition, and distribution of resources across the rest of the district. As a result, while there may be some short-term positives for a smaller group of students, the broader effects on equity, inclusion, and overall school improvement would likely outweigh those benefits over time and ultimately create more division than progress. Public schools should strive to make every student feel included and represented. Creating gender-separated spaces may leave some students feeling excluded or disconnected. Our district is strongest when students learn together, build understandings across different backgrounds and experiences. In many ways, that aligns with the original purpose of Title IX, to ensure equal opportunities in education and prohibit gender-based discrimination in schools.
At the end of the day, we believe our district should focus on unity, opportunity, and investment rather than separation. While the idea of an all-girls school is only brought up as a possible solution, we feel it is important for student voices to be part of the solution before any direction is considered. Our school should prepare us not for separation, but for collaboration, not for division, but for community.
And so tonight, as students in this district, we ask you to remember the students at the center of this discussion. Remember the students who walk the hallways of our schools every day. Remember the students whose futures will be shaped by the choices made here. Empowerment does not come from separating students apart. It comes from ensuring that every student feels supported, valued, included, and prepared for the future that lies ahead. Thank you.
Thank you.
Our next speaker is Noor Bazi.
Good evening. I'm here again tonight because I care deeply about our district, our staff, and most importantly, our students. Before I begin, I want to make it clear that Mike lives in Dearborn Heights, and that's why his children go there. I want to address the narrative surrounding the recent union survey results. As a DFT member, I do not believe those results fully represent staff. From what has been shared, it appears that only 1/3 of teachers participated. This is not full representation of our district. I personally spoke with at least 40 staff members, and the feedback I heard does not align with what has been presented publicly. There is a clear gap, and it raises real questions about how these results are being interpreted and shared. We also don't know where this information came from or how it was compiled. The results, as presented, were not indications of what many believed they were actually being asked. Yet they were used to create a very specific narrative. What is even more concerning is how this has escalated. Instead of remaining within a professional process, this has moved onto social media. I've seen it on both Facebook and Instagram, where information is being shared in a way that is creating division and at times misrepresenting one of the candidates. This is not fair, and it does not reflect the professionalism our district deserves. I ask that personal bias be set aside. This decision should be grounded in qualifications, experience, and a genuine understanding of our students and community. At the end of the day, this is about our children. Dearborn needs a true child advocate, someone who knows our students, understands our community, and can make an immediate and meaningful impact. We need a candidate with years of central office experience who has demonstrated proven results, experience that lends itself to a district of this size and complexity, and a leader who has already addressed system-level failures and is ready to fix those issues immediately. I urge you to put politics aside, put the outside pressure aside, and focus on what truly matters: our students, our staff, and the future of this district. Thank you.
Mr. President, we have one last speaker. I'd like to request, if it's okay with the rest of the board, to suspend the rules and let this speaker speak as long as they want. Our final speaker today is Joanne Harris.
All right, good evening. As you know, I'm going to try and do this and not cry. As you know, I'm retiring at the end of June, and tonight will be my last time that I sit at the board table. Reflecting on 3 decades of service, I'm struck by how much our community and our schools have grown. While my journey here has taken many forms, the last 10 years serving as the secretary to the superintendent and supporting this board have been among the most rewarding of my professional life. In this role, I have had a front row seat to the dedication, late nights, and difficult decisions that go into making our district a success. It has been a privilege to support the vital work of the board in shaping the future of our students, collaborating closely with the superintendent to ensure our district operations run seamlessly, witness the impact of our collective efforts on the generations of students who have passed through our halls. I want to thank you for the trust that you placed in me. Supporting the board has been about more than just minutes and agendas. It's been about being part of a team that truly cares. As I move on to this next chapter, I take with me lifelong memories and the satisfaction of knowing I played a part in our district's mission. Thank you for the opportunity to serve, and I wish you and the entire district continued success.
Suspend the rules, let Barry back here.
We've had other people sneak behind.
All right, I don't know if anyone wants to take a break, but. All right, that is all the speakers today, Mr. President.
First of all, I want to thank everyone for participating. We really do hear you and we do listen to everything that you said. We know that this is an emotional decision for all of us, and we really are stressing over it because we really want to do the right thing. Somebody said, the young man, somebody said this is the way of 20,000 kids, and I truly feel it. I think all of us feel that. So thank you so much, and we did hear you. I do want to thank Joanne for all she's done for us. I know sometimes she kicks me under the table to remind me of what to do or keep me honest. We really appreciate her.
You only get 3 minutes.
I personally, and I'm sure the rest of the trustees, are going to miss her. This is a knowledge that it's going to be hard to replace, and we thank her from the bottom of our hearts. If anybody wants to speak with regard to Joanne, if not, then we can move on. Go ahead, Beth.
Yeah, I will not pass this opportunity, but Joanne, thank you so much for for your service to Dearborn Schools throughout these years. Ever since I was appointed to this board and served on it, you've been always professional, always caring, always responding to our needs. So thank you so much for your service. Truly, we will truly miss you.
Somebody, Trustee Brazion.
I follow your sentiments. Joanne has been a world of knowledge to me because anytime I want to know something, I just dial the 827-3022.
All right. Okay.
Is that public?
That is her office number, luckily. Go ahead.
So, Joanne, again, thank you for all you've done for me and this board.
Anybody else? Trustees?
Just a couple things to say first. To everyone who came up and spoke, I know it's not easy, so thank you for giving us your voice. I thank the speaker who came up to give just a factual correction about one of the candidates' residences. Also, to Mr. Alawi, we are not a council. They meet on Michigan Avenue. We're a board. But thank you for coming here today and giving us your feedback. And also, to the students who came up here, I mean, you know, that is... really powerful and a testament to who we are, and I think the kids are doing okay. And before I was elected to this board, I used to hear about Joanne Harris. She runs everything. I don't know why I'm crying. Yeah. I'm a contagious cry. You know, somebody starts crying, I cry. You know, I've been involved in the schools for a while before I got elected, and they said she, you know, talked to her. I said, how can this one person, you know, be this influential? Turns out it was all true. And when I became a board member, she immediately greeted me with, I think, 75 binders and said, read this. We really wouldn't be who we are. Where there's so many people who contribute, and we're losing some great people this year, including Mr. Wall and Mr. Mustonen. And, you know, Joanne has been through a lot and still showed up to work every day here during our a very pivotal time for us. So, Joanne, we love you. Thank you very much. And that's it.
I'm not going to cry. I knew Joanne before she was Joanne Harris. And I knew Joanne as she watched the transitions in central office with a number of administrative staff and her fellow employees who supported her in the maze of logistics that comes with that office. She has always been able to perform, never missed a beat when changes had to be made at the last minute, always came in ready to work, even when we had long meetings, early mornings. She was the support that we always could rely on. And I know that she has been mentoring others to prepare them to take on that challenge. But Joanne, I will miss you dearly because I've known you for so long. But I know you're going to find your place in the sun. And hopefully Kevin will hold that umbrella for you when you need it.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, we might as well. As the newest trustee on the board, Joanne, I just want to say thank you so much for helping me transition and acclimate so seamlessly with your professionalism, efficiency, and your constant reminders when I forget to fill out forms. But thank you, for your kindness, your dedication. Now I'm going to cry. Stop. And most importantly, for all of our banter that gets me through, all the long nights and the rough moments. So thank you so much. You are irreplaceable. Good luck to whoever's trying to fill that spot. And congratulations on your retirement.
I just want to say thank you. I remember when I got appointed and I came in and you did my oath for me and you gave me a stack of binders to read and I looked like a deer caught in the headlights and she looks at me and she goes, "You're going to be fine, don't worry about it." And honestly, it made me feel better. It made me think if Joanne believes in me, I got this. I've seen a person that's unbelievably dedicated. Anything we need, no matter what's going on, Joanne gets it done. It is something very unique. I think we're going to miss it greatly. Thank you so much.
All right, this is a big moment. So, we're going to repeat some of the processes that we've done at the HFC. Oh.
Request.
Okay. Next item.
Can I request a break, 5 minutes? A recess?
We just started, okay.
I'll move for a 5-minute recess. Do we
I'll
need to make a
support.
motion? Okay.
Yeah, make a motion.
Go ahead, I'll move for a 5-minute recess.
I'll support that.
Actual 5-minute.
You're causing agony, you realize, out in the audience.
No, I think we
All
need
in
to take a
favor?
breath.
Say aye.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
objection?
Aye.
Motion's approved.
Reconvene at 7:12.
It's up. Who are we missing? Where's trustee Zahar? So we're back in open session. As I was saying earlier, we're going to continue what we've done before at HFC and in previous interviews. We're going to allow each trustee to speak for 5 minutes, and the 5 minutes is approximate or about. We're going to be lenient, but the idea is to give everybody a chance, and it doesn't mean we can't speak again later on as we debate. And the goal for this is, you know, we want to speak of these two candidates. They're really good people. We're really more focused on the qualification to be a superintendent. We're not focused on being disrespectful in any way, and I trust our trustees are professional enough to be respectful in their comments. So I have I don't anticipate anything. So the goal is to speak about each candidate, and then we deliberate and motion. So let's start off, trustee.
I can volunteer.
Okay, and we'll go this way.
Okay. Good evening, colleagues, staff, parents, most importantly, students and fellow schools district residents, Mr. Cervelli, and Sheila, so sorry, and Ms. Harris. Thank you to all the students and all of the speakers who came and spoke today. And I have carefully considered all of the feedback that I have received through written submissions, one-on-one conversations, phone calls, meeting with teachers, administrators, parents, families, especially the ones who came and spoke during our citizen participation previous meetings and this meeting, and especially to the students who spoke out today and who spoke to me personally, and many members of our broader community. And after rewatching the semi-finalist interviews, also the final interviews, and reviewing most of the materials, not all of it, that were submitted by all of the candidates, and listening extensively and reflecting deeply on what is best for our students and our district, I rise tonight with clear recommendation. It is time for genuine reset. We, or at least most of us, all remember the painful defeat of the 2019 bond. It was a whisker. That loss was not just about dollars or buildings. It revealed a deeper breakdown in trust between the administration, the board, and our community. Back then, I stood at this very table, at this very seat, and pleaded with my colleagues to conduct wide-ranging listening sessions and bring an independent outside consultant to bridge the growing gap between the district leadership and the public that we serve. I warned that proceeding without truly hearing our families and staff would risk exactly what has happened. Unfortunately, my voice was not heeded. Today, we stand on the threshold of another major bond campaign. The stakes are high, and the lessons from 2019 remain fresh. If we are to succeed this time, we must approach it differently, with great transparency, broader engagement, and renewed trust. A major issue that has came to light, I knew about it from before, but it has came to the forefront, is the level of fear of many of our teachers and staff that are fearing to speak openly. The Dearborn Federation of Teachers recently surveyed its members. The results showed a very strong preference for one candidate. However, what was most concerning was how many staff members expressed hesitation to voice their opinions publicly. One teacher and parent described it powerfully. Said, I'm a parent and an employee in this district, and I know firsthand the struggles teachers face day in and day out, especially with the lack of support for their most vulnerable students. Most of the staff I've spoken to are in favor of Moussa Hamka, and the saddest part is that many felt they couldn't show up and express their support out of fear of possible retaliation depending on the outcome. The culture of fear and retaliation is a huge problem our district is facing. When the very people working directly with our students feel they cannot speak openly without fear, we have a serious leadership and cultural issue that must be addressed. Another Dearborn Schools veteran said in an email that was sent to all of the board members, DPS is at a crisis point right now. It's a catastrophe. Swaths of our students are graduating and entering the world as functionally illiterate young adults. Students are less motivated than ever, and some of our schools are complete disaster zones. We do not trust the person poised to take leadership of this district. We do not believe this so-quote successor will run our district with efficiency and, most importantly, with integrity. The leader that can help us fix this and bring a reset that we need is Mr. Moussa Hamka. Mr. Hamka lives in Dearborn. He proudly sends all of his children to Dearborn schools. He is personally invested in our district in the most meaningful way, as a resident, as a parent, and as a professional who has applied to work for this district multiple times and kept getting rejected for reasons that we all know. He brings the fresh outsider perspective that we desperately need and urgently need. After years of operating within the same internal circles, we as a district have developed cliques and habits that sometimes limit bold thinking and honest dialogue. As Assistant Superintendent of Human Resources in Grosse Pointe Public Schools, one of the wealthiest and highest performing districts in Michigan, he has direct experience successfully passing bonds in a community where many families have the option to send their kids to elite private schools like Country Day or University Liggett. This proven success that will serve Dearborn well. Mr. Hamka has built strong, respectful partnerships with teachers and unions. He has the system-level expertise to help us reduce initiative overload, improve communication, and create a culture where every voice, teacher, parent, and student feels genuinely heard and protected. I sat down as a fly in this room as both candidates were having a Q&A with teachers and staff, and I watched closely their answers. Mr. Hamka received applause for many of his responses. His ideas and aspirations resonated well with many of our teachers and staff alike were present. He will help us listen first, engage authentically, and rebuild the public trust that we desperately need and previously enjoyed. He is not here to erase our proud history. He's here to build upon our strength in special education, our commitment to our multilingual community, and our deep love for our children, while bringing new energy to literacy, attendance, enrollment, and opportunity for every student. He offers a compelling vision for the district that truly reflects the needs of all students and families and the broader community. He demonstrated with his experience, interviews, submitted plans that he is visionary, as one of his colleagues just mentioned, trustworthy, accountable, and he is committed to equity, to excellence, and quality education. Along with vision, he brings innovation. Education is changing rapidly. Our district needs a superintendent who is willing to keep up with new ideas, new programs, and new ways of learning, who is willing to thoughtfully create and pilot programs that meet today's realities. Mr. Hamka will bring more accountability to this district with no fear of past relationships and political connections. We need a superintendent who is willing to hold leaders at every level accountable for delivering high-quality education and services to all students. Most importantly to me, he brings equity-based leadership to this role. The next superintendent must be willing to stand up for the least among us, the students and families whose voices are not often heard. Colleagues, bringing Mr. Hamka to the Dearborn is more than selecting a superintendent. It is choosing renewal. It's embracing change that we desperately need. It is choosing a reset, not a full redo from the start, but a meaningful step forward, restoring the trust of our community and building a vision where our students deserve and need. I strongly support Mr. Hamka as our next superintendent for Dearborn Schools. I respectfully urge my fellow board members to join me in this forward-thinking decision. Thank you.
Trustee Bazey.
The selection of our next superintendent is one of the most significant decisions I have ever had the responsibility of making. It has not been easy because this job is not easy. We are entrusted with choices that deeply affect the children of our community, and I do not take this responsibility lightly. What has made this process particularly difficult for me is my personal history with both of these men. I've known them both for years, and we have worked together to better our community in various ways. I'd like to take a moment to tell you about the Mike Esseily and Moussa that I know. First, I'll tell you about Mike. About 6 years ago, my wife and I were searching for a school system that could accommodate my son and his special needs. My wife reached out to all the special education directors in our region. Only Mike replied. He spoke with her on the phone and encouraged us to meet with him in his office, even though we had never met. During that visit, we explained our son's situation, and we were struck by Mike's professionalism, his leadership, and his genuine responses to our concerns. We walked out to the parking lot, and before we got to our car, my wife and I had looked at each other, and we knew we were moving back to Dearborn. A few months later, we were blessed to be able to do just that. My son thrives in Dearborn Public Schools, reaching milestones we once thought impossible when doctors first told us about his diagnosis. Mike and the special education staff have been incredible to work with, not just for my family, but for many others. Does the department still have room to grow and improve? Definitely. But Mike stepped into a department that was once a revolving door, stabilized it, expanded support services, and genuinely worked from the heart for our children. He built a strong foundation for students with some of the greatest needs. Whenever I wanted to bring special population students to events with specific accommodations, Mike was present and supportive. He is someone I called on numerous times for input on initiatives that benefit our children, and he has never said no or failed to make time. Moussa Hamka is another man that I've known for years. Initially meeting him at a run club that we've joined and we helped lead together, we worked together on fundraising and advocating for families living in poverty right here in our community. Moussa has always been the person I turned to when I needed a leader to represent our group and our charity. I knew he could thrive in any situation, ensuring everyone felt seen, heard, and valued. As a teacher and an educator, his dedication shines through whenever he sees someone struggling. He always is ready to provide guidance and encouragement, helping people reach their goals they never thought possible. When I began publicly advocating for students with special needs, Moussa was right there to support me in any way I asked. Whenever I needed advice or someone to push a child in a stroller for a 5K, Moussa was prioritizing helping those invisible citizens because he truly understands what it looks like. I am proud to stand shoulder to shoulder with both Mike and Moussa to advocate for our special needs community and for all of our students. Regardless of the decision that is made this evening, I know the character of these men. I will walk out of here tonight still friends with each of them, and we will continue advocating for the children who need us most. They will both remain vital threads in the fabric of Dearborn. Over the last couple of weeks, we have received a lot of feedback about the future of Dearborn schools and about how Moussa and Mike. But much of it was constructive, and I genuinely appreciate it. However, we have received feedback that tore down one of these men to make a case for the other. That has not been helpful. I understand the weight of this decision, but I know our community is better than this. Both of these educational leaders, alongside their wives and children, will remain part of our community after tonight. Let us treat them with the respect they deserve. Now to the task at hand. I have thought long and hard about the current state of Dearborn Public Schools, the programs that are working, the areas that need improvement, and who can best elevate our district to the next level. Although I believe either candidate can serve as our next superintendent, there can only be one. We need a leader who can build and guide a team to improve student learning and literacy rates, continue to focus on the needs of our special education or our special needs populations, ensure appropriate teacher workload, optimize operational and curriculum systems, address classroom behavior, tackle infrastructure needs, and navigate potential administrative restructuring at central office. This includes the transition of our departing CFO and other roles, significant roles that touch every corner of our district. For decades, our teachers, principals, executive directors, special education staff, non-instructional staff, and countless others have built Dearborn Schools into a wonderful institution that has produced many great, productive members of our society. In my career for nearly 15 years, I have been brought into businesses that are functioning well but struggle to take the next step. They seek an outside perspective, not because their leadership or staff are incapable, but because they know that combining fresh, external insights with deep institutional knowledge is the key to excelling and moving forward. It is a mark of a good leader to know when outside experience is needed. That is what I see here at Dearborn Public Schools, and that is why I am recommending Moussa to be our next superintendent. Moussa will bring years of executive experience to our district, not just in the classroom and building level administration, but with comprehensive district-wide HR experience and financial knowledge. I believe he will honor our rich history while challenging our norms, not just for the sake of change, but to ensure we strengthen our best programs, improve those that are lacking, and bring fresh ideas to an experienced team. His 100-day, 1-year, and 3-year plans were thoughtful, detail-oriented, and impressed many, including myself. His attention to detail and process-oriented approach will elevate all of our programs. I can see him building exemplary teams that collaborate seamlessly across the district, ensuring equity across buildings and programs for all of our students, regardless of ability. He has what it takes to lead Dearborn Public Schools forward, ensuring all our students thrive and keep every decision focused on putting our students first. To my fellow trustees, I look forward to the discussion at hand and hope we can come to a clear consensus tonight. Because tomorrow we will have a new superintendent waiting in the wings, and we must do everything in our power to support them while ensuring they meet the mission and vision we set forward for our district and our students.
Trustee Zar.
All right. Once again, good evening, everybody. And I would like to thank everyone who spoke up, who gave feedback. I want to thank John and Sheila again for navigating us through this process. I echo every good thing I heard about both candidates. We obviously have two qualified people who care about education. I'm glad that a couple weeks ago I pushed for an extra week for us to deliberate. I apologize to my fellow trustees if that means you got too many phone calls, but I think it really gave the community a time to really deliberate, everyone to be part of it. No one could say we rushed, and we are making a deliberate decision. There's obviously two great members of our community that we're considering for this tonight. It's clear to me that both of them are deeply committed to students, and that they're both men of integrity and respected in our community. And I think that being said, reasonable, well-intentioned, intelligent people can disagree on their conclusion in this process. I disagree with my colleague a couple seats to the left. I do not think that our schools are in a state of catastrophe. I know that we have issues that we need to take care of, but I don't hold that point of view. I also am a little upset about hearing it, saying that there are insinuations of corruption or dealings in our. I know that we have very active, animated people in our community, but I don't hold and share that point of view. I listened closely to Mehdi, Sophia, and Yasmin tonight, who I think were so powerful. When I think about who I would like to see as a superintendent, I think about leadership style that I can see in their presentations to us. I think about who can motivate and inspire people towards a vision. I think about someone who has practiced and been well experienced in empathy towards all of our students. I heard ideas from both candidates. Some I agreed with, some I didn't. I happen to agree with Sophia and Yasmin in their assessment that they gave earlier this evening. And while I said that we have two strong candidates, I keep coming back to one candidate, and that's Mr. Esseily. I think there's value in having an organization where when somebody enters your organization and dedicates their life, their professional life to it, as a teacher, as an administrator, and then someone who works in central district administration, and does a good job, and has the respect of their colleagues, the people that work with him most closely, the administrators union and the non-instructional union, both enthusiastically supported him and endorsed him. I think it's important to have and foster an organization where when we look to leadership, for leadership at the top, if we have well-nurtured, well-experienced leaders among us, even though we're conducting a national search, and I'm so happy that we did, because it kind of proved to me that we do nurture talent. We do nurture superstars here in our district. And I think it's important to foster that culture, to tell people if you enter our organization, one day the top job will be open to you if you are good enough. And I believe quite strongly that Mr. Esseily is. I think about the learning curve that both of them will have. I think about one leader who has had 2 years of central district administration experience in a district that is far smaller and far different than ours. I mean, we are a complicated place. Even if you're from here, if you haven't worked in here, it's going to take a while. And maybe some people think it's worth it. I'm not sure that we have that luxury. I will say this, if Mike Esseily gets this job, I will go from being an advocate for him tonight to becoming one of the loudest voices holding him accountable right away. He said that he can that he'll be an agent of change, which is very important to me. And he said that he can do it more quickly because he can do it from within. And I will be looking towards that. I think about the bond, where we've already started work of 3 or 4 months, at least on this bond. Vigorous work. We've had a number of meetings about it. We have to pass something in November. We don't have the luxury to wait until next year, where there's no elections on the ballot and it has a larger chance of failing. We don't have the luxury to wait until 2028. We have to do something for our kids now. I believe that Mr. Esseily gives us a much better chance to pass a bond this year because of the legitimacy he has with a lot of our parents in our community, because of the administrators that will line up behind him to help us pass this bond. I heard from Mr. Hamka that he has some different ideas about the bond. That could be fine, but that could mean that we go back to the drawing board and that we possibly don't even get anything on the ballot in November, and we can't afford to do that. Mike, as the head of special education, which by the way, special populations, which by the way, for people who don't know, was kind of a revolving door before he got there, and stabilized that, has navigated what many people believe, me included, some of the most complicated relationships in our district, and been able to get parents to see his vision and to become allies. That is a really unique type of leadership to me. I know some people say it's same old if we select somebody from within. I don't believe that. And we've had differing sort of messages in our community over the last few weeks, and which is great. I mean, we're very involved, and that's wonderful. We had aspects of our community pushing for an internal candidate, then pushing for an external candidate and saying we can't have an internal candidate, whatever. It's okay, that's politics, that's what we're doing here. But I heard from Mr. Esseily during his interviews that he understands that he needs to be an agent of change. And like I said, if he does become the next superintendent, I will go immediately, like tomorrow, to becoming somebody who will be pushing him immediately to make that change. I believe that if we selected Mr. Hamka, we probably would have a different feel, which means a longer, much longer sort of period of adjustment, and I'm not sure that we can afford that either. So, my strong endorsement tonight will go to Mike Esseily. I want to thank everyone again for being so involved in this, and we've had a interesting up and down emotionally night tonight. Thanks, Joanne. You know, I remember Jim Valvano, this great basketball coach, when he was dealing with cancer near the end of his life, he said, every day you should do three things: laugh, think, and cry. And I think we've done those three things here today. And maybe that'll get us to a decision. I urge my fellow board members to support Mr. Esseily for this position. I believe he's the right person at the right time. And I believe he leads with empathy, and he will come with an army of people supporting him, an army of people that we have nurtured, that we have built up in this district, and there's a lot of value to that. And so that is where I stand, Mr. President.
There is an Arabic word called amana, which really means something entrusted in us. For me, what's entrusted on us is the duty to serve our kids, the duty to make sure that we select the right candidate for our kids. It's not about one person being better than the other in regard to their personality or their character. It's who could take our district to the next level. The decision is grounded on qualification, and as I said before, what's best for our kids. When I looked at when I went through the process, I took into consideration different criteria: experience, the interview, the character, you know, based on, and all the feedback. We received a lot of feedback. For me, I received only one kind of feedback, and I'll share in a little bit. And it's really from the teachers. While both of them bring valuable experience, you know, one has a deeper background in the school system, school-based leadership as a principal. One has 10 years as a principal. One has HR experience, which impact the whole district in many ways. I think for me, during the interview process, I was looking for somebody that would take us and improve where we are. There's a lot of misunderstanding or a lack of knowledge. While we have many positives at the district, there are many challenges that might not be fully visible or reflected to the broader community. We have challenges, you know, with ELL. We have challenges with, you know, proficiencies. We have many challenges. I know people got upset at me last time when I mentioned Fortson by name, and that was just an example. It's across the district. You know, we have 9,000 EL students. I feel like, you know, we focus, you know, on the candidate being in charge of special ed or special population, but nobody ever mentions EL of 9,000. So when I look at the broader picture, it's like I want somebody that will be overseeing the whole district, somebody that has a strong background from an educational curriculum. I want somebody that, you know, with regard to the bond, it's really, really important. But you could have shiny buildings if you don't have the right leaderships. It doesn't take you anywhere. We do need the bond to pass. That's not taken away from it. But let's not use the bond as a way to say, put this person in because they're what's best for the bond versus what's best for the kids. I just want to differentiate the two things. So one of my main reasons for for choosing Mr. Hamka is change. Change is really, really critical for me. And we want somebody that's not afraid to change. We want somebody that has an objective viewpoint that's not going to be impacted by the same that has been going on. And like I said, there's positives in the district, but there's also some challenges that, people are not aware of. One of my criteria is to see how the feedback is provided to us. And what I saw is the administrators were pushing for one person, and the staff were pushing for another person. And that kind of led me to think of other things. It's the culture of fear. So the question that I had was, why are so many teachers afraid? If you notice, barely any teachers come and speak for Mr. Hamka. And I said before, I don't get many calls, but I do get calls from teachers to speak on their behalf. I actually sent an email to our interim superintendent and our HR executive director, asking them to send something, and I'll focus on the word ask, to send something to the teachers to reassure them that there's no repercussion or retribution. I asked for that, and the response that I got from one of the trustees is they have freedom of speech. Well, there is freedom of speech, but go and speak on behalf of Gaza, go and speak on behalf of, is that truly freedom of speech? No, it's limited. Go your corporation and speak about your boss. Is that freedom of speech? So our teachers are afraid, and that tells me there's a culture of fear. We really need a change. We can't continue this way. Mr. Esseily is doing a good job with the special ed. He's not, I don't even know what's going on with ELL because I'm not sure, because I don't think it's going well. I think he'll continue doing a great job for us in special ed. That's not taking anything away from him. But we want a leader that really, a superintendent is not a specialized task for one thing. It's really leading our whole district. They wear many hats, whether it's as people mentioned, the bond, whether it's the curriculum, whether it's, staffing. Staffing is critical because we want to make sure we retain our teachers. The toxic environment that I'm hearing, it doesn't help us retaining teachers. It's really, and so going back to the change, one of the things that really, really hit me, and I know I'm going to offend people, forgive me, but I tend to speak bluntly at times. It's going to be hard for someone that is internal to make changes, given that everybody is supporting them internally, because change is an objective and an unbiased. You have to be, sometimes you're not going to be people's best friend. You have to do what's best for the district, what's best for the kid. That really worries me, that I think I don't see that happening because of having that relationship and people supporting you to get the position. But that's not the main focus. I want change because I want somebody that has the experience, that has the knowledge, and that has the potential. They're not, both of them don't have superintendent experience, so we have to, it's really in comparison, we're comparing two candidates. We're not comparing, somebody that was a superintendent and somebody that's not. I truly believe, and if you notice when I picked my top two, I didn't pick Mr. Hamka. I'm going into this very objectively and fluidly. I did not make up my mind. I made it based on what I saw. And if you saw the final interview, you could see a difference, a major difference. Now, some people would say, no, it's not, but we put questions in there specifically to see how people handle it. And I felt Mr. Hamka handled it very well. I've never met him before. I don't know him, but he really impressed me, and we do need a change. We need to make sure our teachers are protected and feel free to speak freely. This is not a we all came from overseas where there's, you're not allowed to speak in some places. We came to this country because we want to have that freedom to speak and support who we want. So in saying that, I would support Mr. Hamka.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you to everyone that has participated and contributed to this process. A lot of feedback, a lot of participation and presence, and it's really been amazing to see for the most part. My speech now includes a bunch of my thoughts and feelings on the process as a collective, and I'm sharing that right now instead of after the vote because unfortunately I know many will, walk away or turn off the stream. And so I want this message to be heard right now. This decision is probably one of the most difficult decisions I have ever made. And it's a decision that I did not really make until the 11th hour. Despite all the rumblings and rumors about this being a predetermined process in November, when I was appointed only weeks before. Although at times I wish this deliberation period were shorter, I was relieved to have had so much time to connect with so many members of our district and our community, staff, teachers, administrators, students. It is my duty and obligation to listen to the feedback, review the provided material from the candidates, and use all available resources to make an informed decision. And again, despite what some may say, I can proudly and confidently say that I have done just that. I have treated this decision with the gravity it deserves, knowing that our choice today will help shape the trajectory of our schools for years to come. I have reviewed every email and every response from all of the feedback forms. I've dug into data and conducted my own research to better learn and understand. I have met and had meetings over enough adani tea to possibly have caused some health issues. And I have received over 300 phone calls in the last 5 days alone. And I apologize to the handful of ones that I did not get back to. While I can proudly share this large number of communications that came through and that I had, I can say with deep disappointment and shame that many of those communications were nothing to be proud of. Throughout this process, I have been relentlessly harassed, cursed at, shamed, and threatened. My wife and family members have been harassed for reasons I just cannot comprehend and I do not accept. I understand that we are a passionate and involved community, but as members of this district, as human beings, too many lines have been crossed. It is absolutely okay to encourage and to support your candidate of preference, but attaching their name to your hatred, your slander, and your bullying is not only irresponsible, it's absolutely unfair to those candidates. Mr. Hamka does not deserve this. Mr. Esseily does not deserve this, and most importantly, our students do not deserve this. The finger pointing, blaming, and slandering I have seen towards each other, the board, and the candidates has brought me nothing but shame and embarrassment, in full honesty. This community has been advocating for the candidate they think is the best example for our students, but what does that even matter when this is the example we have been setting for them throughout this process? I hope we can all remember that we're all human beings, and yes, we can disagree, but we all have a duty to respect one another, and every single one of us deserves that respect. Now, I know we are here to discuss these two candidates, and I would like to acknowledge the finalists, Mr. Esseily and Mr. Moussa. One of my biggest takeaways from this process is that we are so blessed to have two amazing leaders who have stepped up to serve our community and to serve our students. I want to thank them both for putting themselves out there and for their willingness, dedication, and vulnerability, and I also want to apologize for what them and their families have gone through throughout this process. It's so unfortunate that we've had two highly qualified, successful, and exemplary leaders running for this position. Members of our own community decided to do nothing but tear them down. We would be absolutely blessed as a school district to have either one of them lead us, and it's so unfortunate we've taken this opportunity for granted. I have the utmost respect and admiration for both candidates, and I'm so proud and also devastated that I have to choose just one of them. I understand that I need to make a decision. I understand that some people will be hurt, disappointed, or left feeling hopeless. I ask that everyone respect the outcome of this process and stand together, united behind whoever is selected. I ask that you offer this new superintendent an opportunity to earn your trust and respect. To all the threats about boycotting ruining careers, sabotaging the bond, I say this: shame on you. Because regardless of who's sitting in my seat, in this seat, today, tomorrow, in 5 years, our students are still in this district, and they are the only ones you will be hurting. We are all responsible, collectively, for the current state of our schools, and we are all equally responsible for righting that ship regardless of who sits there. After much deliberation, thought, and reflection, and despite intimidation tactics and threats that I do not bow down to, I have selected the candidate that I believe is best for our district at this time. Considering the entirety of information provided, paired with the experience and the challenges ahead, I would like to offer my full support for Mr. Mike Esseily. I'll leave it at that. Thank you very much.
I would like to thank MLI First for helping us through this process. And as I've stated without apology, I've been here before. Not only that, but I, along with my former fellow trustees, nobody seated here, we chose the last two Dearborn superintendents who went on to become state superintendents. The first was very non-traditional, an external candidate. With his vision, he gave students an opportunity to earn a free 2-year associate degree during high school, which has not only begun but been expanded over the years. The second was a lifetime career employee who worked up the ranks inside Dearborn Public Schools. For 10 years, he led the district through several school community upheavals. Everybody remember the ban the books? With a calm, inclusive, and thoughtful direction. The first was brought in to course correct a fractured school environment, the first superintendent. The second came to add on with a steady, approachable leadership. Both had their critics before, during, and after. No choice is without its challenges, but each choice can have significant impact. I assess this selection with the same mindset. Assumptions, perceptions, support, or criticism are usually fueled by what relationships have evolved from a negative or positive experience with an individual. I will not react to those pressures. It's disappointing that rumors and personal biases have muddied the current conversation. Distrust was expected, but very unfortunate. I believe it has been demonstrated that decisions in the best interests of our students have been made in the past and will continue. And my years of board experience has helped me identify those characteristics needed for the next superintendent. We have heard rumors of a predetermined outcome. We hear that routinely with many hires within the district. I have no idea how to address these claims when we must make decisions based upon relevant characteristics not always apparent or understood by those looking on, while delivering a choice not everyone agrees with. I read every document, survey, or email presented, and we got a slew last night. I listened with intent to candidate responses and presentations made. I spoke with those who approached me with their thoughts and considerations. I have taken all these factors into account. I have listened to you. I've made a choice that I'm confident on. I do not believe efforts to influence or intimidate should control the selection, but rather my best judgment. It's worked in the past. Both candidates appear qualified. Both are really, truly members of the Dearborn community. But one has a perspective of understanding that cannot be replaced by reading data off a website. Building performance is not just numbers to be studied. It is embedded in people who can relate that data with student needs and can define the progress made. While Mike Esseily may not have referenced data points specific to the district in some answers, that does not negate his knowledge of them. Facts and figures are not the complete picture. What I heard was he would take the time to explore the results within each building and determine, with a team approach, the next steps to improve the outcomes. He did not assign blame or claim to have the solution alone. He will advance our vision, but with calculation, not presumption. He is prepared to act and take accountability. Mike Esseily, as Executive Director of Special Populations, has years of experience that I would liken to a small district within a district. He manages a budget totaling approximately $150 million. He's responsible for compliance with special education populations while also overseeing our unique Henry Ford Early College program. He has the responsibility of seeking and managing grants and hiring staff that are in short supply and high demand. His student academic engagement touches preschool through college associate degrees. He works to support students at all grade levels and all abilities. The very nature of his job requires him to routinely connect and communicate effectively and empathetically with others, be it students, staff, or parents. Mike has had the opportunity to advocate on behalf of Dearborn schools in both Lansing and Washington, D.C. And many have shared with me the ideas that have been discussed with Mike, detailing plans that are very much forward-thinking and student-centered. Concerns have been shared regarding favoritism and nepotism. The truth is both candidates come with community and district relationships. I believe board oversight and personal integrity will be the driving force for all personnel decisions. And finally, passing a bond cannot be attributed to one person. Success requires a full team of committed community members. Mike will help steer, but we all play a role that determines the outcome. Mike Esseily demonstrates a genuine collaborative nature where I believe he will continue to learn and grow with others, not just lead by command. A truly transformative nature can inspire others to own the change, not just direct it. My selection of Mike Esseily is not based on whether I like him or not. None of us will accept the status quo anymore, and neither will Mike Esseily.
Good evening, everybody. First of all, I want to thank our two candidates, two great candidates. And as I said, when we were selecting a president of the college, we had three great candidates. If I could take them all and take something from each one of them and mold them into one person, it would have been a home run. But unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. So it's a very tough decision. And I have to say that Nazare, in regards to our community and what we've been put through in the last 6 weeks, has been something that I never thought I would see in my lifetime here. I'm a longtime community resident. I do a lot for this community, and to see the division of rivalry is unbelievable. Our families have went through a lot. We've taken a lot of abuse. Unfortunately, I'm sorry for anyone who has taken this abuse. It's not needed, and we shouldn't be doing these kind of acts. From my perspective, I've had as many phone calls and emails as all of my colleagues here. I've tried to answer and respond to everyone. I have read everyone. Even the surveys, I have to say that, you know, I don't want to say they're false readings, but I truly did not believe in the readings that we were getting. 488 or whatever the number was out of all of our teachers. So, and I know people are afraid to talk. They don't want to put their names out because of what they may face after we leave here tonight, and it's just unfair. So I'd like to, first of all, talk about Mike Esseily. Okay, and you know, he's just demonstrated the leadership and the qualities necessary to effectively serve the students, the staff, and this community of Dearborn Public Schools. His experience within the district, along with his commitment to the student achievement, transparency, and collaboration, aligns with the values we believe are essential for the next superintendent. Throughout the interview process, Mr. Esseily emphasized the importance of strong communications, building trust, departments, and working collaboratively with the stakeholders. Additionally, his focus on expanding student reports, including mental health services, and his efforts to strengthen the community, the partnerships, reflect comprehensive approach to the meeting and the needs of all students. I am supporting Mike Esseily because he possesses the unique combination of strong leadership, deep district knowledge, and the strategic vision necessary to move us forward. Foundationally fixer and change agent. He knows exactly where the check-in foundations are. As a proven change agent, he has the insight to fill those cracks immediately and the skills to build upon the foundation in a clear, effective way. Instructional leadership at all three levels. He has proven experienced leadership, instructions, teachers, administration, and at the elementary level, middle level, high school levels, ensuring he understands the educational journey of every student in our district. The expansion of career pathway and the CTE, his plans for the CTE roadmaps with Henry Ford Early College and the MBCC will create vital pathways for all of our high school students to maintain and increase enrollment. Deep district roots and insight. As a former student, teacher, builder, leader, and central office administrator, Mike understands Dearborn at a level that cannot be taught. He knows our families, our students, and our community unique needs. This will allow not only change, but informed change that our district and students need. Innovation and retention in one of our system's most complex areas. Mike hasn't just maintained programs. He's improved them. He's introduced innovative ways to attract and retain the staff while strengthening students and support district-wise. His clarity and classroom focus. During the interview process, he demonstrated sharp focus on literacy and district-wide alignments, ensuring that administrative priorities actually translate into the results in the classroom. Accountability through the relationship. I believe, Mike, deep internal relationships are an asset, not a liability. Strong leaders, relationships, to hold people accountable with both strength and fairnesses. And finally, he is committed to improving student outcomes by outlining clear steps at each level, pre-K, elementary, middle, and high school post-secondary. Has worked on projects like promoting millage renewals, bonds as a cabinet member. He has built various community relationships and will be able to help us pass this bond. My choice is Mike Esseily.
Trustee Moussa.
Trustee Zara, I'll call you by your title, not 2 seats away from me. What I quoted is what a teacher and a parent said, whether we agree with them or not. That's what they said. And I do agree with them as far as the infrastructure. We have buildings that are unfortunately breaking down. I mean, I don't know if you visited Lori before, but I wish you, I think you did recently. So that is what I agree with. As far as the DF, the Administrators Union, I did receive that endorsement, and I questioned the current president as far as were your members polled like DFT did? Did you ask your membership? I have not received a response. I also asked, because this is, again, it was a breach of school resources, using school email to send that kind of letter. You should be sending it through your personal email, and you should be sending it outside school hours. I believe, I don't know if you were on PTO at that day when you sent that email, but I'm still awaiting that response. So I kind of respect the idea that you're saying that you're going to be holding people accountable after they get appointed. And I will watch for that. But one thing that I know and I have always advocated for is consensus. And it seems like this board is divided on who do we want to select as our next superintendent. So what I suggest might come as something, I'm not going to call it out of the box, but an idea of taking more time and keeping our interim superintendent, who is doing a phenomenal job, for the time being until we may have to reconsider or redo this process all over again, because everybody knows how I felt during our semi-finalist interviews. So I'll just put that point for consideration. Thank you.
I do want to make a comment with regard to the trustees making promises that they will keep the new superintendent accountable. That's a little disheartening because all this time you should have been keeping whoever is in place accountable. It's not something that you just start doing because it's the person that you want. Accountability, you know, our role is to make sure we're doing it from the start. So that really baffled me, that statement that a few trustees said, because now they're saying, we're going to make sure we're going to mentor, we're going to coach, that just tells me that you feel like that person is not ready if you're going to do that. Why didn't we mentor Dr. Maleko? Why didn't we tell Dr. Maleko to do things and hold him accountable? I'm not saying, but to say that just, it doesn't make sense to me. Trustee Petlikoff.
A, I don't think anybody mentioned mentoring this individual. I mean, I don't recall hearing that. B, accountability comes in the form of an evaluation that the state requires us to do. So accountability is embedded in the whole process of this employee being our responsibility to ensure that our directions and what we feel is necessary for the district is recognized. And it's the superintendent's job to manage the day-to-day realities of achieving those goals that we set. That's where the accountability is from the board, and every board should be saying that they're going to hold their employee accountable. And the evaluation process is an accountability process where we set goals and then meet again to find out, and that's set by the state. I'm not sure what.
So, with all due respect, you did not say those words, and you're speaking on behalf of someone else that's
No, I
spoken.
said I didn't hear anyone saying that they would
Trustee Zahar
mentor.
mentioned that he'll start tomorrow or something like that, to make sure that he worked with the superintendent. To me, why are we starting tomorrow? Why haven't we started when we got elected?
Well, I
So-
can't
so,
speak.
Well, you spoke.
I said nobody said they would mentor
You
the
spoke,
superintendent.
and maybe you shouldn't have. And my thing is, our superintendent should be ready to go, the best qualified, but we should not start I use the word mentoring, coaching, but when I'm going to be holding them accountable, that is what they're doing. They're just making sure now that the new superintendent does what they need to do, versus we should have been doing that all along. That's all I'm saying. Any other comments?
No, I don't have anything to say.
Okay. Okay. So let's entertain a motion. I'll make a motion. I could do that, and I have my lawyer over here. So just for the record, there was a situation where it was said that the chair could not make a motion. And after talking to our legal counsel at HFC and our legal counsel at P12, it is said that based on the board, the number of boards, that the chair is able to do that. So I would ask in the future, give us the common courtesy beforehand to investigate or talk to our legal counsel when you bring something new that we need to change from a procedural standpoint.
I do a point of order, though. It is generally noted that the board chair or president calls on somebody else who wants to make a motion before they jump in and call themselves, because we can't make a motion without the chair approving it. And you've already said you are going to usurp our ability to make a motion, and you're going to make the first motion.
For me, it's to set a precedence, because I was asked to relinquish the chair, and we have our lawyer here. Adam, could you speak to that? Am I able to make a motion?
From Miller Johnson. Under Robert's Rules of Order, with a small board, it is permissible for the chair to make a motion. I understand the point of order that's been raised by Trustee Petchlikov, but ultimately, in terms of the rules themselves, they do permit the chair.
No, I'm just pointing out that it is.
Mr. Blaylock, isn't it also true that under those rules of small boards that are in Robert's Rules, which I don't really care to talk about tonight, but that motions also need not be seconded under those small board rules?
That is an accurate statement under the small board. That is correct.
An accurate statement.
And accurate. That is correct.
So if we operated under those rules, we can't just pick and choose which of those 7 rules we want to operate. We'd have to operate under all of them?
Well, and so one thing that I suggest, and I suggest this to all boards when they are dealing with a important decision, is to try and stick to the rules that they've operated under traditionally. And so I note that, because that is a common statement that I make to boards, is to try and follow process and don't change it during a big decision.
Thank you, Adam, for coming. I knew we were going to need you. Trustee?
I can keep that tradition and make a motion if possible.
Okay, go ahead.
Thank you. Since some board members, obviously, they did say who their preferred candidate would be. However, some of my colleagues, and correct me if I'm wrong, said they would not have a problem with either candidate being the superintendent. So I make a motion to appoint Mr. Moussa Hamka as our next superintendent, pending contract negotiations.
It's for the public, it's still, even though people spoke and stated their opinion, you could still motion and lose the motion. So just from a procedure standpoint. I will second that motion.
Thank you. Discussion.
So roll call?
No, discussion.
Sorry, discussion, sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
So there's 7 of us on this board for a reason, because sometimes decisions are made 4-3, and that's normal. The U.S. Congress sometimes makes decisions of great importance, 218 to 217. So us making a decision 4-3 with I don't know if there's any math teachers out there, but that's something like almost 60% of the board. I'm disappointed that we're making this motion when the will of the board was clear.
Still vote no.
I'll be voting no, and I'll be entertaining a motion for Mr. Esseily after this motion, I hope, fails, and only because the will of the board has been clear. And I think Mr. Esseily deserves a vote as the will of the board has been made clear. So I'll be voting no.
So I think, yeah, I mean, you have every right to vote any kind of way. I mean, that's just why we are a board, and we are, we have the rights to vote and speak how we want. So do you want to make roll calls if there's no other questions? I'm looking around.
You're asking me to do a roll call?
Yeah, please.
Okay, the motion on the table is to appoint Mr. Moussa Hamka as the superintendent pending contract negotiations. Trustee Bazzi?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
No.
Trustee Mozip?
Yes.
Trustee Petlichkov?
No.
Trustee Subah?
No.
Trustee Zahar, no. President Al-Jahmi?
Yes.
That's 3-4, it fails.
Mr. President,
No, it's okay, they could,
Mr. President,
it's their right.
is there, before trustee Bizarre makes his motion, I made the suggestion earlier about keeping this process, or restarting the process, and not to say that this process has failed. I mean, Mr. Saleri mentioned this at our last board meeting, that we could come here and say, we're not happy with both candidates, and that's not the case here, but it seems like we're definitely divided. And I do acknowledge that there are 4 board members who would like the other candidate, but I'd like that superintendent to start with a full backing of the board, at least the vast majority, which is not happening right now. So I would consider restarting the process.
I'm not making a motion, I just want to say something.
Yeah.
Trustee Czar?
First, if you, Trustee Moses, if you would like us to, I guess, go back to the draw, however you want to say it, I imagine that would require a motion, so you could make a motion to that effect. I think that should, something like that should only be done through a motion. I would vote no on that motion too. We are not divided. We have, it's totally conceivable that we could end up in a situation, I said it before and I'll say it again. I believe that reasonable, well-intentioned, intelligent people can disagree on the conclusion that we are making here today, but the will of the board is clear, in my point of view. And all of us, I think, demonstrated very much to the community that we thought about this in a deliberative fashion, that we took it very seriously, and we came to the conclusions that we came to. Divided to me would be like 3 people went one way, 3 people went another way, and one person said, I don't know what to do. That would be divided. Yes. But I don't think that we're divided, and frankly, I fear that we would lose some legitimacy of the community if we fail to make the decision that we're frankly elected to do, the only job that we actually hired. So I would not be in favor of stopping or going back to the drawing board or whatever it may be. I would hope that somebody would put up a motion for Mr. Esseily, and I'll support that motion.
Before, just a comment before. I think at the end of the day, you know, it's a majority vote, and then Trustee Bazey, and we'll respect that. But to say we have, you know, some kind of consensus because there's 4 people in support. What
I didn't say consensus. I didn't use that word.
I said what, you know, you're making it sound like we're all in agreement.
No, I didn't say that.
So how did you say it?
I said the will of the board
The will of the
is
board.
clear.
Okay. So the will of the board, in your opinion, is the 4 people?
Well,
Hold on a
majority.
second, please. And you're saying the other 3 people are not the will of the board. So you're talking from a majority perspective. I respect that, and I agree with you. But the word will of the board, it's okay. Like I said, for me, at the end of the day, once we vote, once we, you know, get a majority, we're going to respect that. This is the way this board is made up. I wasn't sure who said first. Trustee Petrikov?
Yes, I move that we appoint Mr. Mike Esseily, pending contract negotiations, for the next superintendent of Dearborn Public Schools.
I second that motion.
Okay, any comments for discussion? Please, Trustee Bazey.
Well, that motion,
It was seconded by Trustee Jefferson.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that, sorry, go ahead.
It's on the table.
I just want to say we've followed a process that's come to a conclusion with 2 qualified candidates. As I said earlier, you know, I think either one of them is qualified to be our superintendent, and I've expressed my point of view and why I selected whom I selected. But I will not vote no on Mike Esseily.
I would encourage all the trustees to vote yes on this motion, as MLI has, as John and Sheila have advised us, would be a great practice. Unless I came in today not completely knowing what the results would be, maybe all 7 of us might be in that position, and if the will of the board went the other way, I was prepared to vote yes on a motion that supported that person, because I think it's important that our next superintendent come in with the full support of the board on paper. So my advice to my fellow trustees would be, unless you have a really deep sort of moral objection to one of the two candidates, that if the will of the board is clear, which I believe it is here, that you all vote yes on this motion.
I do want to say, I take offense to that. Saying moral objection, we vote, it's nothing personal.
I'm just giving my opinion.
Hold on.
Just giving my opinion.
It's everyone's right to vote, and I stress to vote the way they want. Sure. You could be 6-1, 7-0, like, it doesn't really matter. At the end of the day, for me, I promise to support the superintendent that's elected. That is the one thing that I could say. I will support the superintendent that's elected, but allow me to vote the way I want to vote, if that's okay. So is there any other discussion of that?
Trustee Petrikov, and then.
Okay.
I just wanted to say that at the end of the day, the behavior of the board is going to represent to the school community, either we are working as a team or we're a divided community. It will carry into how that messaging goes out. And I agree, because I've been in this position in the past of years ago at the college, not here. So I'm not going to take anybody's right away. What I do want to make sure is at the end of the day, because at that time and now, the conversation has to be that we as a board are going to present a support group that is going to back our new superintendent. At the same time, it is going to be dedicated to making sure this district moves forward. No transformation happens on its own. And it's concerning that if the only reason you have a no is a personal choice, then we may not be sending the strongest message to the school community that Mike Esseily is going to get all of the resources he needs in order to be successful.
I think that's a wrong way of looking at things. Trustee Petrikov, when they had to vote at the HFC for the president, you were the only no.
You were not there. You don't know what occurred.
You told me, you always tell us about your experience.
Please,
so I heard
we
it.
have a motion on the table. Can we just go ahead?
You're the one that's speaking, and then you it bothers you. My thing is, we will support the superintendent, regardless what the vote is. For me, I guarantee you, I will be very supportive of the superintendent. But allow us to vote the way we want to vote.
You
Please.
certainly may.
So go ahead, Trustee Moussa.
I don't want to go back and forth, but just making the record straight. Not 2 weeks ago, Trustee Zar voted an abstention when we appointed the president. And then now he's saying moral. And that is very offensive to me, because if I had such a moral disagreement with Mr. Esseily, I would be saying it at this table. I don't disagree that Mr. Esseily is a fine, amazing person who I worked with on so many things. And I will back this board's decision, the majority decision. I've said this, and I will say it again. And I'll become their biggest supporter. But I will say, I will hold that superintendent, whomever it is, accountable. We have major things to resolve in this district. And the promises of being an agent of change, I will be looking forward to those promises. And I'll be working hand in hand if that's going to be the case. So I totally disagree that to voting no, it means that you have a moral disagreement or something that is questioning our moral compass. Thank you.
Yeah, trustees are.
So just to be, I try to choose my words carefully, and I think I did when I spoke, so I just want to clarify to the community what I said. I was just advising, urging my fellow board members to, I said, unless you have a deep moral objection, just my advice, everyone is free to do whatever they want, that I think you should vote yes if you think the will of the board is going one way. Also, that is true. I abstained at the vote of the Henry Ford College presidency. I think over a couple months, my reasons were clear about that. Also, our bylaws say that when you abstain, you are acquiescing with the majority. If it's actually not a no vote, it's a vote that acquiesces with the majority.
Not really.
That's what our bylaws say, actually.
Oh my God.
That's what our bylaws say. So it wasn't a no vote. So I'm ready to call the question if anyone else is.
So go ahead, call the vote, but let's not say one thing and we've done something else in the past. Let's go with the roll call, because we're going to go back and forth. And if it's okay, and there's no other comment.
Move forward.
Yeah.
Okay, the motion on the table is to appoint Mr. Mike Esseily as the superintendent of Dearborn Public Schools pending contract negotiations. A yes vote appoints him. A yes vote would be in favor of appointing him, a no vote would not. Trustee Bazzi?
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio?
Yes.
Trustee Mosip?
No.
Trustee Pelichkov?
Yes.
Trustee Subah?
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, yes. President Al-Jahmi?
No.
That's a 5-2 vote, and the motion passes.
So, next item, please.
I'll ask for order. I'd encourage everyone to stay because there's important things being discussed as well. The next item is discussion, next steps on contract negotiations with Mr. John Silveri.
So you have now selected the person
Yes.
that you would like to be your next superintendent. You have not yet hired that person. Next order of business is to negotiate a contract. Once you've done so, then you'll take action, formal action at a board meeting to actually appoint and hire that person as your next superintendent. So you folks need then to make a decision about how you want to go about contract negotiations. There are various ways that districts go about this. There's not necessarily one somewhat common practice that you may want to consider. I'll throw this out there to start discussion, but you can take this anywhere you need to, is to go the committee route where you empower 3 members of the board to represent the full board in contract negotiations. You may well involve your attorney as well. I know you've involved an attorney in terms of drafting a contract. It's entirely possible that Mr. Esseily will empower an attorney as well to represent his interest. In that case, you'll certainly want to have dialogue between the 2 attorneys. But regardless of that, again, in terms of best practice, common practice, that's something that we see fairly often. If there's a standing committee already that might be appropriate for that job, you may want to go that route as well, versus having discussion about which 3 of you would necessarily want to appoint for this role. So I understand you've got a superintendent evaluation committee, you've got a finance committee, I'm sure you've got others too. That choice is yours, but that may be the path that you want to take going forward. Only a suggestion, but clearly you need to walk out of here today with a plan going forward as to how you're going to approach negotiations.
I would suggest the committee route. We're already doing that at Henry Ford College, and we already have 3 people who are in the committee, Trustee Subah, Trustee Bazzi, and Trustee Zahar. I would suggest taking the other members, Trustee Moussa, Trustee Petlikov, and Trustee D'Ambrosio, to be that committee, so we don't have 2 committees going at the same time, because there's a different contract negotiation going on. That is my suggestion. Trustee Moussa?
I have an alternative suggestion, which is to go just through the chair, if that's possible.
Yes.
Because seems like committee work takes a very long time, and we want this wrapped up quickly because we want contract negotiations to go quickly because July is approaching and we know the summertime and so many meetings that we still have and so many graduations. And I fear that if we have a committee, we're going to just go in circles. So I would say if we can empower the chair to do the contract negotiations along with our general counsel.
Go ahead, trustee Zar.
Mr. Silveri and Sheila, sorry, I forgot your last name.
Alice.
Alice, okay, Miss Alice and Mr. Silveri. What is your opinion on how this stuff would have to be done public, if you get into a back and forth with the president or the superintendent designee? This have to be done, I guess I'm asking Mr. Blaylock too. Blaylock, okay, sorry, I know everybody by first name. So if that has to be done publicly, if you need to sort of publicly say we're going back and forth under OMA, and all, what is your guys' opinion on that? Can we just tell one person, whether it's a chair or anybody, can we just tell one person, you go direct this, and they go back and forth with the candidate without there being eyes of the public on it?
I mean, could I ask a question for trustee Zar? And then, what is going on right now with the HFC? Because it'll be similar.
Well, at HFC, there's a committee that was appointed by former Chair Moussa last October, and what we've done is we've talked in our last open meeting at HFC on April 20th, we talked about openly among all of us, which supersedes a committee, that what we wanted our council to do. And so far, she has presented Mr. Kniezek, they presented Mr. Kniezek, who's also represented by council, with a contract. Mr. Kniezek has replied to her. She has let the committee members know via email, correct, what the response was by Mr. Kniezek's counsel to that contract. And so now we have to have a committee meeting, properly noticed, to talk about it. And then I don't know how many times they'll go back and forth, but and I'm just asking whether or not we can empower one person to do that without it being under, or three people or whatever, without it being public meetings. If that's true, then then we can go faster over at HFC too.
So my answer to that is you can empower a single person to have the back and forth. I'd suggest that they use legal counsel as appropriate as part of that back and forth. And then ultimately, the contract will come back to the full board for approval.
Okay, and so one person, we empower one person to go back and forth with Mr. Esseily, and then, but when it comes to the board, okay, that person should not be communicating with other members of the board while they're going back and forth?
I think that it's perfectly appropriate to get feedback on what that contract looks like.
So that person could have single one-on-one conversations with other people, so that when it does come in front of the board, we don't got to like send it back again and all that.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, great.
If I may, we've entrusted trustee Moussa for the whole process to handle the working with MLI in the search process.
Do you want to?
I would like to continue that if it's okay. If the board is okay with that, I think this is, might as well get to the finish line.
If he accepts, it's okay.
I will only agree if there are no oppositions.
Are you guys okay with that? Is everybody okay with that?
I don't have a problem.
At the end of the day, we're still going to.
As long as you're.
Obviously
in
communicate with
consultation
all of the board members.
And with the lawyer.
For sure.
I'm okay with that. I trust trustee Moussa to do that.
Do we need a motion for that? Yes.
Let's, for the
You
sake
think
of,
we should make a motion, Mr. Blaylock?
yeah.
Okay, I'll move that trustee Moussa be empowered to negotiate directly with Mr. Esseily on his contract.
Second.
Roll call.
No discussion.
Yeah, no discussion. They all shook their head.
Trustee Bazzi.
Yes.
Trustee D'Ambrosio.
Yes.
Trustee Moussa.
Yes.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Yes.
Trustee Subah.
Yes.
Trustee Zahar, yes. President Jahmi?
Yes.
7-0. Anything else?
Anything else, John and Sheila?
If you would need us to weigh in at all with negotiations, you don't need us to handle it, but if there were questions in terms of the back and forth, you needed an opinion, you can certainly contact us. Beyond that, going forward, just a reminder that per our agreement, there are two things that we are committed to. One of them is we would come back and conduct a new orientation session for the new governance team, which is going to include your new superintendent. That typically is a 3-hour evening session, so You would just simply have to request that if and when you were ready to do so, and we'd be happy to fulfill that obligation. The second part is that we also have a commitment to mentoring the new superintendent for his first year on the job. So just to let you know that that will be available as well. We'll communicate that to Mr. Esseily, and we will be readily available to support and assist him in whatever way he may need that throughout his first year.
All right. Trustee Zahar and then Trustee
Mr. Silveri, that 3-hour orientation session, and first of all, thank you. I think it's important the community knows that you guys have been so professional in this process, and we thank you for that. And I think it's great. I mean, I feel good knowing that you're going to be around for a while, helping us transition into all of this. That 3-hour orientation session, does that usually happen before the contract is signed or after the contract is signed and they start? Or when does that usually happen? I guess?
In my experience, it normally happens relatively soon after the new superintendent begins. Actually takes on the role. So after July 1st.
Okay, great. Thanks.
All right. I see Trustee Bazey, then Trustee Mazza.
I just want to say thank you to the both of you. I think I've said this before. I want to say it publicly. Your steady hand through this whole process has been amazing. Going through the process, answering questions, helping us get to this point has been something that has been extremely valuable. And based on the recommendations I heard coming in here, your reputation precedes you. You guys have done a fantastic job, and thank you very much.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
I concur those sentiments. I've said this before. Thank you, Mr. Silveri, and thank you, Ms. Alice, for all of your work. I truly, truly appreciate your time and your availability as well whenever I called to ask a lot of questions. So thank you for that, and I've already started recommending you to other districts.
We appreciate it. Thank you.
The legacy lives on.
Are there referral fees? Do we get referral fees?
You do not, sadly.
Same here. I concur. This has been a very fluid process, very quick process. I mean, we had the college and it took a while. So we really appreciate you. And I'll say this to everyone that's been involved. Also, thank you, Adam, for being able to talk on the weekend and coming in here. And I thank everyone. I do want to say to everyone, I assure you that we will support Mr. Esseily 100%. We are not here to, just because we disagree on the vote, that we will not support him. It's just sometimes we have to stick to our personal beliefs, who should be, but once the decision is made, it's 7-0. So I just want to say that.
I just want to say one more thing. I want to say thank you to our interim superintendent during all of this time. She's been another steady She's been another steadying hand, and I'll say, and Nasri, if you disagree with me, Trustee, so if you disagree with me, feel free to. We jumped into this, and then 2 months later, she jumped into that and got done what needed to get done, got us where we need to do, a lot of work, a lot of long days, a lot of weekends, jumping right in, getting done what needs to get done, and moving us forward consistently. So thank you, Interim Superintendent Soar.
Go ahead, John.
We just want to be sure to thank you folks as well. You've been really great to work with. Well, you have been. No, seriously. You
truly have been.
You have followed
Wonderful group.
followed the process with fidelity. You put your trust in us to do so. We appreciate that. It's been great again. I've been here several times, but great to work with your entire school community again. You have a very passionate school community, that's for sure, and people who love their students, love their school district, love their community, and that passion comes out in no uncertain terms, we know. But we understand and we know. It's tough when there's division and when people have strongly held opinions and they don't agree with one another. You said that, you spoke to that, trustees are as well. But you know as well as we do, at this point, it's in everybody's best interest, right, that your new superintendent is highly successful and is able to thrive in this role, because the direct beneficiaries of that more than anybody are your students, right? Your students are depending on everybody for that. So where it's great that everybody expressed themselves and that passion came through during the process. It's so critical now that everybody gets behind the choice and everybody works collaboratively together to make sure that your new superintendent, the board, and your entire school district is as highly effective as possible, and we're very confident that that's exactly what will happen. But we very much thank you and all of the folks here for a tremendous experience, and thanks for putting your trust in us.
Thank you so much, and if there's no other business, then the meeting is adjourned.